Hello and welcome to Catalyze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter. I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer. And for today's quick tip, I want to talk about something I don't see a lot of people talking about a whole lot anymore, which is dummy clips and dummy tracks. And for those of you who don't know what those are, a dummy clip essentially is an audio clip that contains no audio information, only automation, which can be used to create a lot of interesting combinations of automated / manually controlled modulation and moving things around. It can be really interesting for performing on stage. So before we dive into it, I just want to let you guys know if you are enjoying the content on the channel, please feel free to subscribe. I'm also streaming here on YouTube twice a week, so if you want to come by and talk a little bit about Ableton Live, you're more than welcome to do so. So let's dive into how we can make a dummy track. So right now I just have a clip here. It's just a drum beat. Just sounds like that. And it's on an audio track. And I'm gonna hit Command T to make another audio track. And over here, we're just going to call this one dummy, and this is going to be our dummy track. Now, in order to actually make this work, we need a clip. It can be any audio clip, it doesn't matter. We don't even hear it. So I'm just going to copy and paste this guy from here over here. On top of that, what we do need to do is we need to route the output of our original track into our dummy track. So here where it says audio 2, we're going to send it to our dummy track. And once we do that, we can set our monitor to in. Now, in doing so, when I hit play here, it's going to take the audio out of this track into the dummy track and just go straight out. So it's going to sound the same, but it's now just being passed through this track. On top of that, one of the other things that happens when you set your monitor from auto or off to in is that this track or this clip now gets grayed out, which means I can still play it, but I will not hear it. So if I look here, we can see there's still audio here, and when I hit play, it will play, but it just doesn't make any sound. Because when your monitor is set to in, it's only looking for input from somewhere else. It doesn't care what this clip is. So this is now a dummy clip because it doesn't really contain audio information. Oftentimes, just to kind of visually indicate what's happening here, I'll take the gain control and I'll turn this all the way down to 0, just so looking at it, I can't actually see the volume here, so I know it's supposed to be silent. So once I've done that, I can now start adding in automation. So if we go to our audio effects and grab like an auto filter, we're going to put it on our dummy track. Let's get rid of this guy. And we can start automating something like our filter frequency. So we can go in here and we can open up our automation, go to auto filter, go to filter frequency, and we could do like a filter sweep going up over the course of, in this case, 2 bars. So when I hit play here, again, we can see there's no audio, we can't hear any audio, and now our filter is just moving up with the clip. So that means if I launch both of these at the same time, it's going to play the audio through and then also automate it. And it's going to loop like that. And that by itself is not terribly exciting. You might be thinking like, well, why don't we just automate the clip here? Like have the auto filter on this track and then just automate that. You could totally do that. But the nice thing about dummy clips is we can have multiple variations of different kinds of automation and jump around between them. So if I take this dummy clip and I duplicate it and say I want to do something a little different here. Say I want it to have 2 bars where it just goes up and then down like that. It's going to do its thing, and again, it's going to keep looping like that. And then let's do one more where we go from here to here. Oops. Mouse is going crazy. There we go. Where it just goes 2 bars going down. Okay. So now we got a couple different variations on it. So this is handy because number 1, like I said, we can jump back and forth on the fly, especially when you're on stage, which is really useful. And number 2, all the automation is quantized, which is really cool. So for example, if you were on stage and you wanted to do like an 8-bar filter sweep, but you want to sit there with your hand on the knob and turn up the filter over 8 bars, you can hit one button and just have it automatically do it for you, which is pretty handy. However, generally with clips like this, we don't want them to loop necessarily. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take these guys, move them down here. The other big issue is if you were to say, be using this clip and hit stop. Let's do this one. Let's hit this one and hit stop. Our dummy clips are stopped, but our filter is still halfway open. So it's kind of stuck here, which is not what I want. And this can happen sometimes if you like end a dummy clip too early, and it'll just leave the automation wherever you stopped, which is not what we want. So to fix that, we're going to make another dummy clip, and I'm going to put it at the very top for reasons that will be evident shortly. And in this dummy clip, we can go to our automation, go in here, we can just clear our envelope, and instead we're going to go to our auto filter and do the device on, and we're just going to turn it off. So when I launch this clip, which I'm going to rename reset, when I hit this, it turns our auto filter off. When I launch any of these clips, it's going to turn the auto filter on and then add the sweep. And so if I jump over here, it turns the whole thing off. This is really, really handy. Again, so you don't get like stuck automation. On top of that, we can combine this with another really cool feature that is often overlooked, which are the follow actions. So I can, instead of having to hit one button to start the automation and another button to reset it, we hit one button, it does the automation, and then automatically resets. So if I select all these clips, just these three, and I hit this little triangle guy right here, it opens up the follow action menu. I turn on the follow action. If you're not familiar with follow actions, they allow you to pre-program your clips to behave in certain ways. So we can go to the next clip, go to previous clip, randomize clips, all kinds of stuff. What we're looking for is go to the first clip, because our first clip is our reset. So we're going to the first clip after a set amount of time, which can either be set in bars here, bars, coordinates, 16 minutes, all that stuff, or just number of loops. So in this case, it's going to loop one time and then automatically jump to the first clip, which is our reset. So if I hit play right now, it's going to play normally. And then if I hit this, it's going to do its sweep. And when it's done, it's going to automatically go to reset. Same thing here. It's going to do the 2-bar filter sweep down, and then automatically reset on time, which is really handy. So by kind of combining these two features, dummy actions and follow actions and dummy clips, you can do a lot of really cool, interesting combinations. So that way, when you're on stage, you hit one button and it can do a series of complicated tasks. This could include automation on multiple clips, multiple tracks, and mix and match together, and you hit one button and it does it all for you, which is really handy. On top of that, one last thing you can do here is you could have multiple dummy tracks and daisy chain them together. So we could have dummy track number 1 for our filter, have this go out to our dummy track number 2, have a different audio effect with different sequence of dummy clips, and then you can mix and match and launch multiple ones together, and that can be really fun as well. This goes a lot deeper. There's a lot more you can do with dummy clips that I don't necessarily want to get into in the context of this video. I'm going to try to keep it pretty short. But if this is something you are into, I can go over different examples of things like beat repeats, which can be kind of tricky, volume chopping, interesting rhythmic gate stuff. There's a lot of creative potential here that can be unlocked if you are into it. It's not something you'll be using every single day in your music production, but if you're into complex live performance setups, you could even create templates of different dummy tracks and just drag them in and use them whenever you want to. So that's it. Hopefully that is useful for you. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you want to learn more about Catalyze Academy and what we offer, feel free to check out catalyzeacademy.com for more info. Again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you soon.